All right. So thanks guys for coming today. And I want to introduce you, for those of you who don't know, this is Lizz Smith. Liz is a capper in our market center, as well as a member of our Asian Leadership Council. This is her first year on the ALC. Liz has been with us since December of 2024. So you just had your first full year at KW, and you came from a small independent brokerage model. So when we say independent, we just mean like a mom and pop brokerage, smaller brokerage, not backed by like any type of brand or anything like that. And since joining KW, Liz has experienced some pretty big growth. You went from 6 transactions in 2024 to basically 16 in 2025. And your volume went from 1.4 million to pretty close to 5 million last year. And you focus a lot on networking as your lead gen strategy. And I'm super excited to share her story with you guys today. So we'll get right into it. So Liz, tell us, where did you grow up?
I grew up right down the road in Hershey, but not too far. I've been here my whole life.
Exciting. Okay. What's something interesting about you, like as you were growing up? You have any kind of like crazy jobs, or was there anything interesting about your life?
I wasn't an angel as a kid, so I won't get too much into that. But my brother was heavily into cars in high school, so therefore I got into cars because I wanted to be like my older brother. So ever since then, that's been like something I've been very passionate about. And so that kind of started when I was a kid.
Okay. Siblings?
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
An older brother.
So
Yeah,
middle child. Interesting. So what did that dynamic look like growing up?
I mean, my brother was worse than I am. So he kind of got in trouble more than I did. And then my sister was also pretty bad. So I kind of just did what I want. And I don't want to say too much about my childhood because I was not evil.
No,
but
all good.
But it all formed. No, so
It does. When you think back, I'm sure that there's specific lessons you can.
Yeah, I was very. So, which helped.
Absolutely. Okay. So Liz, tell us, what do you like to do for fun?
That's a hard question. Because my life is real estate. So outside of this, literally my fun is watching the channel on YouTube called Homeworthy. So it's all about interior design. That's my other passion outside of work.
Base boards the other day, right?
Yeah. So with our new house, I'm
give them a little background about you moving. And
yeah. So we just got the keys to our new house. So we're ripping out like all the baseboards. We're doing the floors. I'm basically going crazy with what I want to do with the house, which is awesome. So we got the keys last week, and ever since then, our house has been ripped apart and in shambles. But it's all fun. I'm excited. Yeah.
So you started doing some videos, obviously around some of the things you're doing. So tell us about your strategy on that.
Yeah. So I used to do a lot on Instagram. I've kind of dialed back a little bit with the move and everything. But my plan is, since we're doing these renovations, it would be cool to also tailor it towards people that also love interior design. So my idea was kind of showing the process of ripping apart the house and putting it back together on Instagram to kind of inspire others that are wanting to get like a fixer-upper.
Yeah. Anything else that you do for fun or do outside of work, or that you want to share?
Yeah, the main things are just cars. Like my husband's into drifting, so we go to different like tracks in West Virginia, Poconos, all around.
Does everyone know what drifting is? No. What's drifting?
So to put it simply, like you're going really fast down a track, and instead of just going around the turn normally, your car's sideways going around the turn.
Seems pretty risky.
Yeah, or clutch kick. Okay. Yeah, I did it for a little time period, but it's very expensive. And I like to spend my money on interior design things. So, yeah, I sold my drift car, but I enjoy watching him. He's here with Terry. Do the drifting thing, and then
So what were some of your jobs that you had in the past? Some of the things you've done?
so right out of high school, I started at Faulkner Automotive Group. So I started there as just like a cashier, and then ever since then, before I got into real estate, I was in the automotive industry. So I actually cleaned cars for about 6.5 years. So I was paid per car. So it wasn't like an hourly or salary position. So basically, the more cars I clean, the more I get paid. Which was a grind.
How did that motivate you?
I'd get there sometimes at like 4 a.m. because I wanted to make money. So I'd be like one of the first ones there. I'd try to get at least 100 hours in a week, which would be about 30 cars. So I'd go in at 4 and stay until I hit my goal for that day in order to get 100 hours in a week. And it was fun. I drank a lot of energy drinks, powered me through it, and I was really in shape because it's really physical. But I'm retired now. I'm retired.
When you say clean cars, do you mean like detailing cars, like
Yeah.
really getting into it?
Yeah, like
Wow.
buff whack. Bar.
Sounds like we got a new
Wet
red
sand.
volunteer.
Okay.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
the van.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the van.
They had to probably a little dirtier than Rolls Royce.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm so used to having the tools needed to detail. So when I don't have the tools, I don't really know what to do. Hard. Like,
When you don't have the tools?
yeah.
Why?
Like, yeah, the big
Why?
thing is like an air compressor with a hose so that you can blow out like all the vents in between the seats. So when you don't have that, it's a lot harder to get everything out. So things like that is frustrating for me to clean cars. That's why I don't do it.
Got it. So what did you learn about yourself when you did that?
Through that. So in the automotive industry, it's very male dominated. I was the only female detailer, I think, across all of Faulkner's brands, which was kind of interesting. I caught a lot of like flack for that. People kind of discredited my work due to that. So I think I learned that like it doesn't matter what other people think. Like I know I'm a good detailer and I know I put in effort and my paycheck showed that. So I think through that I really learned like hard work. Yeah. So which helps into the real estate form.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you were doing the detailing thing, you're working for Faulkner. What got you interested in real estate?
So I went there, and I wanted to do staging because again, interior design has always been like my true passion aside of cars. So I rented a storage unit, I got an LLC made up, and I was gonna start doing staging. So that's when I met with the owner of the brokerage I started at, and I presented my staging. And he said, you know, you're really selling me on this staging stuff. Why don't you just do real estate? And I was really scared because I felt like staging was way more stable for me because I knew all about it. Where real estate was something I always wanted to do, but it's so hard that I didn't know if I could actually do it. But yeah, he offered to pay for everything in an effort to get me to do it. Like, you know what? I'll try it. So here I am.
You gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
So getting into real estate, obviously with that staging background, and wanting to originally get into staging,
Yeah.
do you still do anything with staging at this point?
No, I've seen other agents that offer that as like a service, and I think down the road maybe that might be an avenue I'll go down. But as of now, I just enjoy doing it. Yes.
Sure, it's always easier doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more rewarding.
Right.
Absolutely. All right, so you went through your classes. Did you do them online or did you do them in person?
I did them at GHR.
JHR. Okay. And got your license, passed your exams. Well, passed your exams, then got your license, right? and joined the small brokerage.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What was your first day like?
So I'll try to be nice. Because basically I got my license and they're just like, okay, go sell. I was like, okay. So literally I would just watch like TikTok videos, YouTube videos, like anything I could find to kind of give me an idea of what I needed to do. Because everyone in that office besides the broker was part-time. So I didn't really have anyone to talk to or bounce ideas off of. And the broker has been in the business a long time. So he doesn't really, he just answers, you know. So that first year was all just, yeah, watching every single video I could to try to get, you know, an idea of what to do and throwing things at the wall, seeing what stuck.
So what are some of the things you tried that, let's say, what are some of the things you tried that didn't work?
So I'm just phasing this out now because it was hard for me to commit to something and then back out. Egg cartons. So I approached a bunch of farm stands in my area and offered to provide branded egg cartons, like with my branding on them for free. And a lot of people loved it. You know, I had like 5 different farm stands I provided these egg cartons to, but I didn't really see any return on it. So I'm phasing that out for this year. So that's something that's unique and I haven't seen before, but I tried, you know.
Okay. Anything else that you tried to do that maybe didn't work or that you struggled with?
Yeah. So I did a lot of networking. So I just heard that you need to meet, you know, everyone and their mother to be successful. So I joined the Harrisburg Rotary. I joined the Westport Chamber of Commerce, Royal Foundation, and I tried to like mold myself to fit into these places where like some of them I didn't really feel, I don't want to say welcome, but I didn't feel like they were my people. And I still tried to work it out. And now this year I'm taking myself out of those spaces and really just focusing on where I'm appreciated. I feel like, you know, I can get along. So yeah, more intentionality. I should say.
All right, so flip side of that obviously is when you first got started, what are some of the things that you were successful in or that worked well for you?
So my first year was a lot of SOI, and then referrals. So the referrals I got from Faulkner, which was my previous employer. So something that I do still is I take my car to Faulkner. I don't care how much it is. I take it there and I'll always bring like donuts or brownies or something with my brand information on it. So really nurturing the automotive people that I know has really worked out. Like I've sold, I mean, half of my sales are probably from Faulkner, from just nurturing them and people spreading the word there.
So being in touch with your SOI and just nurturing the crap out of it, basically.
And it's no phone calls for me. It's just all in person or like cards type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Anything as far as routines or specific things that you did as a newer agent?
One of the big things is I do post a lot like on social media about what I'm doing or the things I've sold. And when I do go to Faulkner or any of the brands, even people that don't know me, say like, oh, I see you're killing it. You're always posting on social media. And it's like, oh, I haven't sold a house in like a few weeks. I don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, but it's like, even if I'm just posting stuff about real estate, they still think I'm selling, you know. So
there's an adage that we say for new agents, right?
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
yeah,
Right. And that doesn't, don't take that too detailed,
Yeah.
but basically what that means is get out there and basically make it look like you're busy.
Right.
You're selling.
and I think just posting, I mean, it's been almost 2 years. No, it's been 2 years. So posting for 2 years consistently really builds up that clientele, I think, at least for me.
And consistency is the key.
Right.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key, right?
Yeah.
If you guys are gonna start something, obviously the way to get the results is to be consistent.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So what made you start looking at other places? Or what made you meet with me?
Well, I'll be honest. So I thought about coming to KW just because my husband's dad is Patrick, and he started the place, so I figured, that's probably where I'll end up. So I always had it in the back of my head that I was going to come here, and then I saw you post on social media about Bold, and then I reached out to you. I didn't even know you were a part of this. I thought you were just KW. So I went to Bold, and that's when I was like, okay, these are my people. Like, I need to come to Keller Williams. So yeah, I think I started thinking about it in like October, and then by December I was here.
So what attracted you to Bold in general? Was it just was anything specific?
I think there I found like a sense of community. Because like I said, my other brokerage that I was at, it was very isolating. I didn't have an office I could go to, no one I could really like talk to or bounce ideas off of. So once I had that group of people that was, I don't know, they seemed invested in helping me, which is amazing. Yeah, it just felt totally different. Yeah, it was refreshing.
So for those of you who don't know what Bold is, so Bold is a 7-week course. It sometimes we call it like a boot camp basically, but it's a mindset class. It's a sales training class, and we typically will do. We did Sales Rocket in Bold's place last year. So I don't know, a bunch of you I think were at Sales Rocket. So every year we try to have at least one of these classes that's open for you guys to go to, whether it's Sales Rocket or it's Bold. Who's attended Bold in here before? Three. Okay. Who attended Sales Rocket? 6. Okay, cool. So afterwards, after this class is over, we have a panel that's going to talk about some of the takeaways from the Glover U Summit that a couple of us went to, and that's the same people that run Sales Rocket. And Bold is actually a KW class. So while we're talking about Bold, what were some of the takeaways that you took out of Bold? Being that you were still in your first year,
yeah,
right? What were some of the takeaways?
It really got me out of my comfort zone because I didn't know anyone in that room. So they had you partner up with random people to make videos, which I got partnered up with Chris Rad. And he did a video like perfectly on the spot. I was like, okay. So that really got me out of my comfort zone. Just learning like failure is fine. Because I was so stuck in my head that all this. Because again, I didn't network with agents. I didn't know any other agents. So speaking with like Justin Lepisco is in my group, my Bold group, like speaking with him, just really inspired me that I don't have to be so alone. Through that was the biggest thing. Like not even the content, it was just feeling like I actually had like a family in this real estate world.
Helping you with family and helping you with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to Bold and found your people, as you said, right? And then shortly thereafter, we had a couple follow-up conversations, and then you joined, right? So fast forward, obviously you've been here now since December of 2024. It's February of 2026.
Yeah.
What did that first year look like for you here at KW?
So I made it a point to come in here all the time because I now had an office to come into, and I loved like meeting people. So I made a point to try to be in here at least like 4 days a week. My hope was 5. Because when I'm in here, I'm focused. Like I'm inspired by other people that are working, and if I'm not, working, I feel like I'm not doing my part. So that was a game changer. For sure.
Just surrounding yourself with other like-minded people.
Right. Being in the office. Yeah. And what else was
You're good. So excuse me. So being here, being engaged,
Yeah.
being at the office on a regular basis. What else in your first year at KW, second year in real estate, what else helped you grow specifically? We're not going to talk about you specifically in your business just yet, but we're
Yeah.
talking about specifically maybe what you picked up here and what has worked well for you.
Yeah. Again, just being in the office, you have access to like the trainings that they offer. And so I would attend the trainings and I would hear from people like Heilig or LaPisca on like what they did. And that inspired me to just be better. So yeah. I also found Ryan Serhant, which so Ryan Serhant's an agent in New York. And I watched like this Netflix show and he's in it. And
What's it called?
Owning Manhattan. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with them. And like any video that's out there with Ryan in it, I've watched. So having him as like a guide or someone to like watch has really inspired me. Yeah. I mean, now I do the coaching with him.
Yep.
But yeah, he really inspired me to like do better and not make excuses and things like that.
So let's talk about the coaching piece as
Yeah.
well. Like how has that helped you? I know you started in November.
Yeah.
How has that helped you since?
So with their coaching, it's kind of like in a group setting, and then you have like the individual coaching. So a lot of the people in this coaching program are doing like 20 million a year, 30 million a year. Then there's me. So being surrounded by them, and talking to them and bouncing ideas off them, I mean, they're the nicest people ever, which is awesome. Inspires me to just like do more. Because if they're doing 20 million, you know, complaining about doing my 5 million, where am I gonna be next year? So being in that coaching program has given me like not only scripts, but like ways to go about my business that kind of simplify things. That's really helped. And I won't get too much into it, but they're doing the whole AI thing. But yeah, that's also another community.
No, love it, love it. What made you want to do coaching?
So I went to the Sell It conference, which is Ryan's conference in Orlando back in September. And they obviously talked about the coaching because they want to sell it coaching. But a lot of the people that I was talking to, a lot of like the agents down there, they said once I signed up for the coaching, like my business like quadrupled. That went through the roof. I was like, okay. So they offered a Black Friday special. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna put my card in. And I signed up and I was like, oh, I can't get back. So yeah. I mean, we talk a lot and I know I'm not the most structured person and I don't make the calls. But with this coaching program, it's really pushing you to do those things.
Good.
Which is something I need.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Gary Keller, one of the things that he says is that every single person, it's not just Gary, right? Every single person in this business should have a coach of some kind, right? And the point of that is think about anyone who's been super successful in their life, and not just in real estate. You know, look at any of the top sports figures. Look at anyone that's super successful, even acting and things like that, right? They all have a coach. They all have someone that's helping guide them in the direction that they want and also need to go. So be thinking about that. There's tons of options as far as coaching is concerned. I wish Kim Hibner was here. Kim just actually signed up for KW Maps coaching. It's something that her and I have been talking about for 3 or 4 years. So super proud of her for signing up for coaching as well. But having a coach can help you really get clear direction on where you're going your head. So absolutely.
My biggest thing too with choosing like Ryan's program is his business is very people focused and so is mine. So I felt like it aligned in that way, which was a big factor.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your business. Obviously, you kind of get into it a little bit. You mentioned about how some of the things you do are unconventional, right? So before we get into specifics, let's talk about what has worked really well for you in your business.
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of my business comes from like Faulkner. I'd say about 50% of it so far is Faulkner. Or, I mean, I'm now getting clients from this Toyota dealership because some of the Faulkner people went there, which is kind of cool. So, like I said, I'm very like in person. So whenever I go to Faulkner, I always expect like, even if I'm getting an oil change, I'm going to be there an hour and a half, 2 hours, just talking to. So I make a point to go to the sales side, talk to those people, go to the service side, talk to all those. And then if I see people I know, it's always waving, hi, hi, hi. So it's very people focused.
Well, there's a lesson there too, right? You're being very intentional about when you go, whether it's a car dealership, or a grocery store, or whatever, right? Like I think the story here, the lesson here, is be intentional when you go places.
Right.
Right. Be intentional and have conversations with people. Right.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I love about the car dealership side of it is that you took something you absolutely loved,
Right.
and made it real estate related.
Well, and funny enough, so like last year, I think it was like October or so, I was showing a house in this retirement community, this 55 plus community, and I drove by this house and it had 240 SX, like car that I like. And it was sitting out front and it looked like in shambles. So I wrote them a letter and I was like, hey, listen, like I'll buy this car off you. So I didn't hear anything. I got a call last night and the lady's like, hey, my mom passed away. It was her car. She bought it, brand new 97. Are you still interested? I was like, yeah, of course. So she's gonna be selling the house. So I'm meeting her Saturday to talk about the car and the house.
Imagine that.
I know.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's like stuff like that. Like if I would have never written that letter or wrote that letter, I would have never met that lady, which she lives in our new neighborhood, which is also crazy. And then I might have not had this listing that I feel get. So
another lesson there. The lesson is don't pass up an opportunity that presents itself to you.
Yeah. Because that's,
you never know what the outcome can be.
right. And that's something also going back to Ryan. One of his big things, he has a picture of himself to like 85 on his desk. And he looks at it every day and he thinks like, that person, I don't want them to have regrets. Like, I don't want them to think like, oh, I should have made those calls or I should have sent those emails or I should have done this. Like, you need to live for that person. So that's something that's really helped me. Like, why not try it? What are they going to do? Not call me? Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. What do you feel like through your journey that you could have maybe improved upon or done differently?
In the beginning was definitely follow-up. So I would do open houses and then just go home and do nothing. So I wouldn't even follow up with any of the leads. But I thought they would just call me. So follow up was something I probably lost a lot of sales through because I was just so poor at it. Yeah. So that's totally changed for me.
Tell us about that. What's your follow-up now?
Yeah, so now like open house, I have all the cards. Like on my card, so I give a card and it has, name, who's your agent, and then what are your thoughts about the house. So if they have versus a sign-in sheet, you actually give them a cardstock type of paper. Yeah. Right. And it's received really well. Like as soon as they walk in, I put the card with the flyer and a pen and I hand it to them. And it's great because I put a meter on there on how much they like the house too, and they circle. So that way, when I'm following up with them, if they love the house, like, hey, listen, like we need to get a move on this. So immediately, as soon as the open house ends, before I even leave, if they have an agent, I'm calling the agent like, hey, this person stopped by. They said they love it. Just want to let you know. Then from there, the ones that don't have agents, I'm following up with them. And then I'm consistently sending them texts or emails. And basically until they tell me to stop or unsubscribe, I just bug the heck out.
What, I see
So-
a bunch of people writing, so
Yeah.
what are the questions you have on those cards?
What did I have them? So it's name, phone number, email, and then do you have an agent? Yes or no? And then agent name, which is important because sometimes they just write yes, even if they don't have an agent. And then below that, I have like smiley faces that go from like super green to red, and they can circle which face they feel about the house and then explain down below why. And I always say, if you wouldn't mind filling this out, it's so I can share the feedback with the seller. And they always fill it. So I've had a really good response with that.
Yeah, really.
How is that?
bet you sell it as feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a Patrick idea.
Good.
Yeah.
What, that's a great example. Any other examples around that things that you could have done differently? As a agent,
Yeah.
or even as, even things that you've learned in the past year.
As a new agent, there's a lot of like imposter syndrome. Like you feel like you're an agent, but you don't really know what to do or how to answer questions to people. So something I wish I had, which is hard to say. It's like you don't have confidence. Like I didn't have confidence in the beginning to talk to people. So I wish I would have just gotten over that barrier to chat with people and just answer basic questions. I mean, if I knew about, simple interest rates, about fluctuation, I'd be able to answer those questions because that's what 90% of people ask you when you say you're an agent. So I think just getting over the hump of being scared took a long time.
How did you get over it?
Immersing myself, like not allowing myself to make excuses. And
Mindset. Like,
yeah,
like just getting to the point where in your mind, you're like, this is not acceptable.
right. Yeah, because I knew like the only way I'm going to be able to sell is meeting people. So then I flipped my mindset to like, okay, how do I make conversations with that person, that person, to where I got like really crazy and like at the sauna at Crunch Fitness, I would like spark conversations with people in the sauna because they're trapped in something. So, but I got a lot of like good connections with that, which is great, So, I don't do anything like that crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I do if I'm in the grocery line or something like that. But yeah, finding ways to spark conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you've been here, what specifically have you focused on that's helped you ramp up the production? I know we're probably going to go back a little bit to Faulkner, right? But what other things specifically have you done that's gotten you from 6 deals to 15?
Yeah. So again, like getting out in the community, networking, meeting new people, because you never know who this person knows or that person knows. And then, so I've been working more with my father-in-law, which is cool. So he's really like helped me form conversations to really get clients. Like we did an open house together, which was great. So like see him in a suit and tie because I haven't seen him like that in a while. But through that, I was able to like watch him and see how he does an open. And I gained 2 clients through that open house, just doing it Patrick's way. Which if you don't log on to Power Hour, you should.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, working with Patrick, he's not only like given me lists of people to call and introduce myself to, which was something I did not want. I don't like calling people, especially people I don't know. So that's helped me get on my zone, especially after Aaron's class about cold calling. Great. So this last year, I've been, nurturing a lot of like old connections that Patrick hasn't been able to nurture. And then therefore I'm gaining new connections through that.
So couple lessons,
Yeah.
Paul's that thought, right? Couple lessons there. So number one would be, if you don't have a Patrick, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Guess what? You have a whole brokerage filled with agents who do,
Yeah.
if you ask them, if you could shadow them, they're
Yeah.
gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna let you do that. So that's number one.
Right.
Number two, if you don't have a list of
People that go.
an old database,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Right.
What you do have though is you have memory jogger, which is something out there that will help you jog your memory of all the people that you do know. And I'm sure that most of you have old leads that you haven't touched in a long time. Right? If you're brand new to business, I'm looking at a couple of you because I know you're not going to have old leads at this point yet. But for those of you who've been in business, I guarantee you went back through and found all the people you've ever contacted or gotten through some type of lead source or open houses or referrals from other people, right? That you would have people that
Yeah. Because there's been a few times that I've lost listings and it was just because I didn't follow up. Like I went door knocking and this was when I was like brand new, my first open house. And the guy says, yeah, maybe I'll call you when we sell our house. I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And I walked away and never called him or door knocked him again. And then he sold his house 6 months later and it was like a 7. So I was really, yeah, in my feels about that. But it was my fault. You know, I didn't follow back up. So that lesson, one of my neighbors sold their house with someone else, someone they found on Google. So it's like those things like remind me that I can't be scared. You know, I just need to do it. Because again, what's the worst that can happen? It's just saying.
so we have talked a little bit about follow-up, right? Like how have you changed your follow-up system or what is your follow-up system now?
So I wish it could, I'm working on getting it more sophisticated. Because all I use is like a pen and paper and a notepad.
That's okay though with the system.
Yeah. But I write down all my clients and everyone that I'm working with, which is like long. And I go through each one and I write down like an update. Okay, I called them, emailed them, you know, working on this for this person. So that way I know that all my people are taken care of and I'm not just relying on my mom. So that's how I do it. Like every day I write this list and go through it. So that's what works for me, I guess. But I can.
If if you're new and you're hearing this, utilize command.
Yeah. You can do it the better.
Utilize command and set yourself up with smart plans that remind you to follow up or pass them, right?
Yeah.
Use the system that's there. But listen, the most important thing is a system, whether it's on a spreadsheet. I know that some of you have spreadsheets. I'm gonna say that's all I'm gonna say, and I know some of you have handwritten notes.
Yeah.
The important piece is having a system, right?
Can I say something to piggyback off of that? Yeah, because I do use the notes and it helps me a lot. But when you mentioned to use command, if you are going to be using command, download the app to your phone and make your contact through the app. Because anybody that's imported from your phone into command right away after you make that call or whatever, it prompts you to leave a note for yourself, like in what the call was like. Or something.
Yeah, that's
So,
huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Any other unconventional methods that have worked for you to propel you to where you're at today?
Like I said, the sauna thing was probably the previous thing I did.
But I think really the reality is that was a smart move, right? It was a smart
they're
move
trapped in
because
there.
I mean, yeah, they're trapped in there. But I think the reality is that a lot of people will talk to you
Right.
if you start a conversation, right?
Huh.
Yes, compliment them
That's
first,
what I do. I start with a compliment. Then what are they going to do? Be mad? No.
right? But I think, and obviously don't come out the gate with sales breath and be like, hey, you want to buy a house?
Right.
Right, especially when you're sitting in a sauna. But
Yeah.
the reality would be is like, yeah, start with a compliment and just start learning about them, right? Eventually, guess what? The question is going to be, oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do? Right? And it's going to come out that you're supposed to be.
Yeah. Like the one guy, he had a Cadillac racing shirt on. I was like, perfect. So I started talking about cars, and then he says he has like this motorhome he takes on Florida. He goes to the, I don't know, whatever the races are down there. I'm not into like that type of racing. But he's high up at the Navy base over in Mechanicsburg. And I gave him my card at the end. I was like, let's stay connected. Add me on Facebook. And he did. And he likes all my stuff. I like all his stuff. And he messaged me and he's like, if you ever have something on the water, let me know. And so whenever I find something, I send it his way, just to like let him know I'm looking. But he's become like a good friend, which is crazy.
Okay. Anything else that you want to share about growing your business that we haven't already talked about? I mean, I know that, so you and I recently sat down and we did some specific goal planning, right? And I think that's important, knowing where you're headed and what your plan is in the future, right? Helps you figure out where you're going.
Yeah. So everything I do, I try to surround myself with people that are, I hate to sound like this, but wealthier than me, because it inspires me, to get there. So like the Rolls-Royce Foundation, I volunteer there, and everyone there is like, so like this, which is cool. But I clean the cars there, so I guess I'm not totally retired. But I make sure everywhere I go or anything I'm watching, anything I'm taking in, even on Instagram, even on Facebook, like if it's negative, or I don't want to see it, it's off. I delete, unfollow that person. So I always make sure my mindset is preserved to like a positive light, or to inspire me. So that's really helped me because I do work 7 days a week. So I need to make sure I'm always.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that because I saw something this morning. Did any of you guys follow James Shaw on Facebook? Look him up. He's an agent. He's also a coach. He runs this Facebook group called Pivot Shift Ahead, and it's actually a pretty good group. I was on a couple calls, but it's all free. But it doesn't cost you anything. But James had a video today, and really what he said, stop focusing on the outcome, right? Because when you focus on the outcome, like for example, you hosted an open house and it was crappy and no one showed up. Stop focusing on the outcome, right? Maybe you had one person showed up, focus on that one person, but stay positive about it and don't focus on the negative outcome. Basically just get rid of the negativity, right?
Right. And it's weird because every like open house I go to that it's like I can spend my whole Saturday at this open house. It ends up like I get a client or something happens that's good out. So anytime I have that feeling in my head that it's like I don't want to do this, like wait, no, that's a sign that something good is going.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's weird, but cool.
Awesome. Okay. What else did you want to share that we maybe did get to?
I think the biggest thing for me, like I said, I don't do any cold calling. I don't really door knocking a lot anymore. I just more so focus on my passions, finding people like-minded passions, because it's so much easier to talk to those people organically, to form genuine connections, than just picking up the phone and trying to convince someone to with you, at least for me. So yeah, and that's why I'm so excited about this car thing. I might buy this car this weekend because I'll be able to take that to like car meets or like cars and coffee, and I'll be able to further immerse myself to that car community. So like, I would just say whatever you like to do, just try to find either like I don't know, group or like a place you can go to like practice at, like if it's art, your millworks, try to find ways to like really bond with those people further. That's what I would suggest, and that's what's working.
Yeah, I love that because I know we teach a lot of different things, right? A lot of times we talk about calling and cold calling and things like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't want to do those things. And that's okay, right? We were talking right outside here with Erin.
Yeah.
And that's Erin's thing, right? Erin loves to pick up that phone. He will call people, right? Whereas you're the exact opposite. You really prefer not to do that,
Yeah.
but you found a different way
Right.
to get business.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the most important message of today is, right? Is it doesn't matter how you do it, but figure out a way that works for you and make it, in Liz's example, make it something that you're passionate about.
Yeah. And one of my other agent friends, she said, she's a server, and she was like, I just can't get my clients to look at me in like a professional light. They just think of me as a server. And I was like, I was a detailer. I used to clean cars. Like I was like the bottom of the totem pole at Faulkner, and I sold 3 houses to the one service manager at, Honda. So it's like, as long as you show that you're professional and you talk like fluently, I really focus on like the way I talk and the way I say things. It's really morphed people's perception of me. They don't think of me as a detailer anymore, which is so nice.
Yeah. Dress and act for the
Yeah.
life that you want.
That-
Absolutely. Awesome. Anything else?
I would just say, don't be scared. I know like door knocking, like I door knocked and expired. And I was there talking to them for 2 hours. And I know I just said I don't door knock a lot, but that expired I still keep in touch with because they said they eventually want to move down to South Carolina. So like if I never door knocked, I never had that conversation. Now I'm in the follow-up process and I hopefully will list their house. Yeah, if I never made that door knock, I probably will not sell their $800,000. So
Did you take anything with you when you were knocked off?
So sounds stupid, but I took a bag with the Bath Body Works. It was like October, so I had like a fall soap. It was like $3. I was like, I just want to give this to you, introduce myself, and that's it. And then she's like, come on in. It's like, okay. So then I just talked to her like, okay, so what happened? And then she went on this whole spiel about her agent and why they're afraid to relist again because of, fortunately that agent. And I really built the trust there with them, which is important. That's why I liked, if I have to do some sort of, I don't know what that's, lead gen, it would be door knocking because I get to face. Because like when I'm not face to face with someone, that's when I get nervous. Because then I feel like I'm convincing.
Right. So like you do better in front of someone.
Yeah.
Than what you do in front.
Yeah. So I feel like they see that I'm like a genuine person, or at least hopefully. I'm not there to just like take the commission, run. So I actually care.
What questions do you guys have for Liz?
You mentioned earlier that you were transitioning to staging the state that you thought could be hard.
Yeah.
That thought that you had that it was hard, do you still have any of those fears, or what did you do to combat that thought initially?
Yeah. So I felt the most stable now than I have in the past like 2 years. So I think like growing up, you just see all these, or at least I saw all these successful agents that looked like, had everything together. Like they were driving the Escalade and living in the huge house. And it's like, I don't know if anyone's going to paint me as a professional. Like I have tattoos everywhere. Like I said, I wasn't an angel in school, so probably everyone in Hershey thinks I'm still that way. So there are a lot of like things in my head that were holding me back that I needed to get over. Like I just need to know that, I'm in it for the right reasons. I'm here to help you. And that really helped me just get over the fear of it. And trying like I said, the YouTube videos, the TikToks that I would watch, it's like if I'm not trying everything in their mother to be successful, then I have like no reason. If I fail, like it's all on me. That's my fault. So thankfully it worked out.
But you took those failures as lessons.
Yeah. Everything's a lesson. Even if it's like, I don't know, like I had a buyer back out of buying a house the day before. No, it was an hour before settlement. Yeah, and like that crushed me because back then, like I was living settlement to settlement, but it's like, you know, I'm not going to convince her to buy the house because if she really doesn't want to buy it, I'm not going to convince her because then that make me feel. I wouldn't want someone to convince me to buy a house I don't want. So that was a big learning lesson. It's like,
A house after that,
no,
never bought. You,
I might have deleted her.
okay.
But like in essence, it just like taught me that I need to care more about people than the commission, and that really was a game changer. So, like you said, I try to be positive about everything, which it's hard, but I try.
Mona,
Is your main, like, do you track where your closings come from, and are they mainly like sphere of influence or networking or
Yeah.
Like- websites?
I'll be completely honest. So my main is SOI, Zillow, and then
And what?
referrals.
Oh, okay, referrals.
Yeah.
and well,
Yeah.
when you say SOI,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, can you
That's-
elaborate a little bit more on the SOI piece?
Yeah, majority of it is the Faulkner Honda. It's been great. That's mainly why I drive a Honda. But yeah, so like half of the Honda dealership I've sold to just because I've like constantly nurtured them. Like one of the salespeople, I just sold them a house and I didn't even know her. She was, so everyone in my family gets written cards, whether they're my cousin or my aunt, uncle, wherever. They're getting handwritten cards for every holiday. And it's crazy because I was never really close with a lot of my extended family, but through real estate, I've really close to them and they've come to me for real estate related questions. Yeah. So I've gotten a lot through Faulkner and my family. And then Zillow was something I tried at the end of the year last year. And as long as you have a good follow-up plan with Zillow, if you're looking to try it, it can be fruitful as well, depending. I mean, it's expensive, but it took me a while to save up enough to start Zillow. And then, again, with all the calls with Patrick's clients, I've been starting to gain a little bit from that. Those are my top three.
What's next? What is on the horizon in your business? What are you changing anything? Anything big going on in 2026?
So I'm hiring an admin. She's just getting like all of her paperwork stuff started to do that. And then from there, I want to start forming a team. So once I get her situated and I feel comfortable, I'm gonna, bring on, I guess, a buyer. I don't know. We've been working on this a lot together. Because I want to form something that's more of a legacy, like for my children. So I don't want them to feel, I want them to feel like they can come in and join the same business, but also have like a present.
With your legacy.
Yeah.
So would we invest, you're gonna be investing in properties or buying units or?
Yeah,
How
so,
are you gonna diversify that screen and protect it for your children?
yeah. So we had a duplex, my husband and we just sold it. So I think from that, we're taking, the profits from that and really thinking and being more intentional with what our next step is, whether it's buying more rentals, which I'm not opposed to. I just want to pick my tenants. That was the biggest thing, the last one.
Yep. And backstory to that is
Yeah.
you get to pick your tenants because
Right.
you bought the property, they were there.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of other dynamics with that we're not
Yeah.
gonna get into, but the
Right.
point is it would be very difficult to remove them and put new
Yes,
tenants.
yeah, and I would have,
Right.
yeah.
So if we had a session in Keller Williams or opened up to anybody.
Yeah.
Fans and friends, if you want to invest. You
Yeah.
think that you would be interested in attending something like cash like investing,
because I know you're really well versed in that.
So, well, we're gonna be doing that, but
Oh.
I'm just putting it out there. Like, is that something that think that you personally, as far as like your next step in your business, be considering other sorts of investment properties, if we would be able to develop a workshop that helped create strategies that would
Yeah.
make that more of a safe place for you to feel like.
Yeah, no doubt. Because my biggest goal, and I hate to say in life, but one of my big goals in life is to flip a house. Ever since I was a kid, I know, but ever since I was a kid, I've been wanting to flip a house, and that sounds stupid, but it's been something that I just feel like I need to check the box in my life to like do it. So that's something I'm kind of working on now, is kind of staking out properties and like in my neighborhood. And I'm gonna start forming connections with those people so that when they do sell, hopefully they call me and like buy. But that's something it's like a passion project more so.
I mean, the best tip I ever got in my first year of real estate, first or second year of real estate, is, opportunities are for those that are prepared.
Mhm.
So not being so anxious to get your money out there and
Yeah.
do something, but when that opportunity comes, you're gonna know it, and then you're gonna go like, somebody's gonna say to you, like it said to me 6 or 7 times, like, I don't really care, if somebody gives me a white fee for this house, I'll take it in a heartbeat and run.
Right.
And then if you weren't prepared, you like going, oh darn, or if you didn't have a way to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so that's what the goal of this other shop was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but that being said, I guess Gary Keller or some of the bold classes that we've been in, the first thing to say is you always want to ask yourself, why don't you want to pass your
Right.
current
Yeah.
So that has resonated in the back of my head, which has happened in, statistically speaking, should have failed on flip number 1. Almost did, but didn't. But I mean, I'm saying set myself up to do that. But it's just interesting that, in trying to plan for like your future, what your future plans are, that's just giving me some ideas as far as develop this workshop where I
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we're going that direction. It's gonna be good.
Good. I'm excited.
Mona,
Okay, I have 3 and 1. So you started in 2024, right?
Mhm.
And I know you had a really good year, in like your first year as a new agent. How did you, because I feel like as newer agents, I feel like it's that like 1-3 mark. How did you overcome being, I guess, a newer agent, like gaining that confidence and like, because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm trying to gain more confidence, because I feel like more homes you have sold, sometimes it can help with that. But like, how did that come to you, I guess?
So I think in that first year, like I was so isolated, so I didn't really have other people to like compare myself to, which kind of helped, like not comparing myself. And then also like deep down, I know why I'm doing this, and it's to help people. So I feel bad if people don't use me because, they might have another agent that doesn't, care as deeply as I do.
Yeah.
So you just have to know that you're really in this for the right reasons, so that if people don't use you, it's not like, that sucks. It's, oh, I feel bad for them, and that's, it really helped me,
Yeah.
So you just need to really know, like, I'm a good agent and I know what I provide. And if people don't use me, that's on them.
Yeah.
So,
be confident knowing your value is
yeah,
your value proposition.
yeah.
I just met you last year, I think, and I had no clue you were new. No clue.
Yeah, which is weird because I get that all the time. Yeah. And it's like cool because I guess I portray like that level of confidence in myself, but yeah. Also it's like, I don't know, I don't want people to think I'm like not approachable, or like I'm willing to help anyone. So if anyone has questions, come here. So, but yeah, it is cool that we remembered. Nice.
Any other questions? Any big ahas or takeaways? Anybody want to share real quick before we go break for pizza?
I just like what lead fit? That's like my biggest focus. Lead fit.
Yeah. Like I said, there's only a couple agents I feel like Kim and I, like our businesses aren't the same, but the way we go about our business is very similar. But that's very few. But, cool. Yeah.
I just, one of the key elements for me, I had a previous sales job where I was, as a food broker, so it was kind of like high commercial food sales. It's really older. I got into it in my young 20s, which, you know, it's a much older kind of career. So I had to start with cold calling. And then, like, first, this is right when like Splenda hit the market. So it gave like diabetics. So like my focus was like nursing homes, assisted living communities, like large places. But I mean, as a new, I hated cold calling. I still have such a disdain for it because I just felt so uncomfortable being so young, so not knowledgeable to like an older career path that like it still lingers in me. Like just I get the quivers of just thinking of cold calling. So it's awesome to hear, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm very good networking and, you know, I live right on the river. So it's, you know, there's a different type of culture I can kind of create, but it's nice to see that I can, with a little bit of creative thinking,
Right.
I don't have to be fearful and just base it all on cold calling. I think you should always still have a little bit of that, but I would like to find a way that's not my main focus. And that gives me a lot more confidence with the future.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Good.
that.
Yeah, and a little thing that I've learned recently is when you ask questions, you're never wrong.
Yeah.
So, and that's good, like, even when I'm at a showing, I'm always asking questions. Like, I never say, oh, I don't like these cabinets. Like, oh, what do you think about these cabinets?
Yeah.
So something like that really, switched how I have conversations with people, and it's, you know, switched the outcome as well. So maybe try to, but I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
Any other takeaways? All right. Thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
All right, so there's pizza out there, and then we'll be back in a little bit with our Glover Summit key takeaways.